Alright, welcome back to the Bit Heroes Explained video series. I want to take a separate video and just spend a couple minutes talking about the leaderboards. So if you start off at the center of town, head straight south, and right over here you can click on the leaderboards. And this is a good way for kind of newer players to get a better handle on the game and see what endgame looks like and see what the top 100 players are doing in different aspects of the game. So initially you have level. These are the crazy guys that have pushed all the way up here, and then you can scroll all the way down and see what the top 100 are. So if you can break 437, which will definitely take some time, you can find yourself on here. And a lot of players will ask some of these guys to, if they have slots on their friends list, and you have to remember that this is a very active community. There's a lot of people out there, and there's a lot of demand on these guys for friend slots. So if somebody's full, this kind of gives you an explanation as to why, because there's a lot of people kind of asking these same guys for slots on that friends list. Now, more important than level, you have total stats. So down here, total stats actually shows how much power your character has. And you can see these crazy guys, this is ridiculous. Head and shoulders above everybody else. That's just a crazy amount of total stats. But it kind of gives you a scope on endgame. Like I said previously with friends list, a lot of people, they'll go on Discord and they'll say, hey, I want someone who's 4K plus or 4.3K plus to add me on the friends list. You have to realize that there's less than the number of people that have 4.3K stats is less than 70. So there's not a lot of friend slots out there. And it's very competitive. Of course, you don't need someone with 4.3K on your friends list to get all the content in the game done. Obviously, it'll help, but you just this helps you understand how many people are actually out there that have that many stats. And if someone that does have 4.3 or 4.4K stats or more add you, you kind of understand how valuable that character is. So something to think about. And from here, number 100. So if you have more total stats than this guy, that would actually put you on the leaderboard, and that's definitely a pretty hefty goal. Typically, if you're around level 300 and you have fully maxed gear, a maxed legendary mount and everything, good enchants and so on, you'll find yourself around 4,000 total stats. And so everything beyond that is from leveling. So if you have 4,000 total stats in level 300, if the only difference is from getting from there to getting to 400, that'll get you to 4.1 thousand and so on. And so you're not getting a ton of total stats from level, but it is significant. The other way to get total stats is to do PvP, get PvP rewards, and then craft more stat points. So use that PvP currency that I have missed. Where are you? Right here. Hey, use the PvP currency that you gain from doing PvP and getting stat points. That is a faster way to get stat points. After around 350 or 400, it takes so much experience in game to get experience to level up for stat points that a lot of players have put a lot of effort into farming PvP. It's faster because the battles are faster. You can argue that it's easier, but it's a faster way to get these stat points, but it's only really valuable once you hit 350, 400 or so in your normal levels. But back to leaderboards. So we talked about level, we talked about total stats, and then let's talk about guilds really quick. I did a previous video on guilds, but the level of the guilds is based on the amount of experience that the players in the guild bring in through all content. And the higher that you go up in level, the more guild bucks, which is a currency that the guild leader gets. They can buy different perks and benefits to everybody, and this is a way to kind of take a sneak peek and see what all these different guilds are on here doing. Typically, guilds in the top 100, they're going to be interested in more competitive players. Do you log in every 24 hours at least? Are you active? Is your contribution, is the amount of experience that you earn for your guild up to their standards? Is your equipment up to their standards and so on? Not every guild is like that, and a lot of guilds are more relaxed. But if you're looking at top 50 or so, it's going to get a lot more competitive, and they might not look at you until you're level 100, 150, 200. Probably a safe bet is if your level is close to the level of the guild, then they'll probably take a look at you. But if you're level 50 and you're looking for a level 200 guild, it's probably not going to work out for you. But there you go. That is guilds. Good way to get guilds. You can go on the Discord. You can talk in world chat. You can kind of other ways to meet people. Very easy to kind of get into the community here. Dungeons is the number of dungeons competed, so you can see some pretty crazy numbers here. Raids is the same thing. Number of raids competed. Raids are great for experience. Let's see. My personal favorite things here, trials, gauntlets, and invasions. Right now we've got trials going, so we'll talk about trials. This is the highest level trial that your character has completed. So if you complete all of the what am I trying to say, the campaign of the game, if you complete all the campaign of the game, it'll unlock some of these levels for you, so you don't have to go one by one and climb your way up. If you complete the complete final dungeon, I think it gives you, yeah, you can do trial 1100, and if you so that's completing Obliteran, which hopefully I'll do a video someday in the future on completing Oblit. You'll be able to do trial 1100. Theoretically, you could climb up one by one and progress through trials that way. If you complete the other dungeon, Grimbora, that'll actually unlock trial 750 for you, I believe, and that is a way to get on the leaderboards. So this shows the highest trial that your character has completed, and so you can see a lot of familiar faces on here all the way up. This is the hardest content in the game by far, and gauntlets is basically the same way. With gauntlets, same deal. If you can, the more content in the game you complete, the higher gauntlet that you can unlock, or you can just climb up and, you know, change the difficulty. So if I complete this, I complete the next one, and so on. Since I've gotten somewhat far in the game, I've got all these guys here unlocked for me, and I can go through those. Back to this. The last thing to talk about is Invasion. So Invasion is a special event that comes around every once in a while, where you have to defend the city, and so it's very similar to Gauntlet as far as the way the battles come out, but you want to defend the city using some of these NPCs that you see around town, as well as your own familiars. And similarly, this shows how far each player has gotten, and they're pretty fun, but these are just non-stop waves that come at your character. And so this is the top 100 right through here. So a quick look at the leaderboards. You can see that the most competitive players in the game kind of show off how you've been spending your time and while you're waiting for the next tier to come out. So that'll do it for this video. I appreciate you watching. As always, see you in the next one.